And head coach Jim Boeheim. Coach, we have microphones placed throughout the room. We'll ask people to raise their hands, identify themselves. Spend about 8 or 9 minutes here. So questions to start. Here in the back.
Coach Bob Holliday, WRL.com. Your friend Roy Williams is fretting about the pace of play in the ACC, trying to come up with ways to speed up the game. Now, you played on a team that averaged 99+ points per game.
Must have been no defense.
Is there any element from that offensive philosophy that you can bring to the league to help out your friend Roy?
The best way to speed up play, in reality, there's 2 ways. The way to do it without making any rule changes is have the officials call fouls and take the physical play out of the college game. I've had 10 NBA coaches tell me the college game is more physical than the NBA. It should not be that way. I think that's the easiest way. And we've talked about this for about 10 years, minimum, and every year it's the same. Well, we're going to call them this year. So we're hopeful going forward that would speed play up, that would allow the offense to have more movement. I think the 30-second clock will help somewhat. I don't think it's going to make a tremendous difference, but I think it will help a little bit. The 24-second clock would be the best solution to speeding up play, and I think coaches would realize they can get shots in 24 seconds, but I don't see that happening anytime in the near future.
Next question. Coach, is this a prelude to more changes coming down the line to get more like the NBA or more like international?
I don't think so. I think it's a good move. I think it's a small move, but I don't think it's a prelude to moving to 24.
Question in the back of the camera stand.
Talking with the players earlier, they seem to have not much of a heavy burden on their shoulders considering what they went through last year, and they seem to be more energized and revitalized. Do you feel that way as well?
I think it's hard to tell how players feel sometimes as a coach. I felt last year the players were in, they did everything they could to have a successful year. I think the reason we didn't have as successful a year as we'd like to is because we had a freshman point guard who struggled, and we lost our most athletic and best talent 4 games into the ACC season when we were 4-0, I believe. I think those 2 factors were the reasons we didn't have as good a year as we'd like to have had. I don't think it had anything to do with anything else, personally.
How much does having the postseason in play this year mean to you guys?
Well, I think, obviously that's what you're hoping to get to every year. And I think certainly to some degree, when you're not able to play, that certainly is not a good thing. It's something that, but I don't think that's the reason we didn't have a better year. I think for the reasons I've said, but I think certainly players think about it and worry about it, and it's certainly something that is going to be on their minds, and that's often it's important to have that. Especially, you don't want to carry that burden of not being in postseason play from the beginning of the year, before you even start, knowing you can't go to postseason tournament. You got to play 30-some games. And even the opportunity for a young team, young players to have the chance to play in the ACC tournament's important, which we didn't have, and hopefully the NCAA, or if not, to play in the NIT. That can help your team for the future.
Coach, can you describe the body of your freshman class? Is there a particular description you could put on them?
I like our freshmen. They're ready to play, which is a good thing. We need them to be ready to play, and they've worked hard, and I think they've done the things we'd like to, and they all bring something unique, but basically they're good shooters, and that's something we lacked last year. We had 1 guy and 2 that really shot the ball from the perimeter very well. And this year, I think we have 5 or 6 guys, and I think that will help our team be better offensively. And whether that translates into being a better team, we'll have to see.
Other questions for Coach from the room? Once again, Bob Holliday.
Have you thought about, you know, the upcoming years and how you'd like to spend them, goals, how you'd like to go out?
I haven't really thought about it. What I think about at the beginning of the year is how am I going to get this team to be the best team that they can be. You know, I actually thought last year we won about as many games as we could reasonably expect to win. I thought we won a couple we probably shouldn't have, coming from behind late. But, you know, every year I have approached coaching the same way. I don't set goals or wins or tournaments or winning this or that. It's try to get this team ready to play and be the best team that they can be. And I don't know what that is with this team. We have a lot of question marks and things that we have to kind of figure out. And there's a lot of teams like that. But certainly the better teams have more solidified teams, and that's why they're picked to be better teams. But I like this team. I think we can be a good team, but it's can be. We're not there yet, for sure. And you know, but I don't think too much about past tomorrow. I don't think about all those things that I think people do think about, but I don't. I know my good friend Bobby Cremens told me a long time ago I'd get to 800 or 900 wins, but he didn't tell me I might not keep them all. But I got there, and
For the benefit of those watching online, Coach Cremens is in the room, so sort of fun to watch the sparring. Trevor Cooney, 230 attempts from beyond the arc last year, hit 30% of them.
yeah.
Based on the freshman class and the structure of the team, does he have that same green light for this year?
He has a green light, but we'd like him to shoot a few less. We'd like to take the 40 or 50 bad ones he took out of there, and his percentage will go from 31 to 37 or 8, where it should be. And I think he realizes that, you know, he has those guys. So last year he didn't. He really had to take some shots that were not quality shots, but he had to take them, and I wanted him to take them because he had the best chance. His percentage in the bad shots was better than some of the other guys that were shooting about 17%. So this year I hope he will not have to do that.
Any other questions for Coach Boeheim? One in the back, camera stand, follow-up.
Can you talk about Mike Benajay and just how much he's grown, especially over the offseason, and just how much you might rely on him during the year?
I think Mike's grown as much or more of any player I've ever coached. He came in as a small forward that didn't handle the ball that well and didn't shoot the ball that well, to be honest with you. There was a reason he didn't play at Duke. You know, it wasn't just that they had better players. He just really wasn't good in those areas. And the first year when he sat out, he worked hard, he got better, but his first year playing, he was not that good in those areas. And then I thought last year he really started to show what he could do, and I think he still didn't get to where he is now because I don't think he really believed, like, I'm one of the best players in this league, and he needs to have that attitude, and I think he has it. And he's improved his shooting skills, his ball handling skills, which is obviously why he could be in that position. But I really think he could be one of the most improved players I've ever coached, and he could have a big year this year.
Coach Boeheim, thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, UVA and Tony Bennett.